They both came from the Major League Yankee Club, and back in about 57, 58, 59, Kearney had a minor league Yankee ball club. It was a rookie league, and what the Yankees would do, they'd send down their professional uniforms to the minor league players, and minor league players would wear them. The reason that there's a K on Whitey's jersey is that they took the NY off, and of course the K stands for Kearney because that's where the team was located, in Kearney, Nebraska.
Kearney, Nebraska. Now, how'd you get them?
I was clubhouse boy for the rookie Yankee team when I was about 15 years old. I come from a baseball family. My father was a professional baseball player, and my father is in the Nebraska Baseball Hall of Fame. My mother, of course, was a baseball widow, so to speak, and baseball has been our life. And so I got the job as being a clubhouse boy. I polished shoes, washed the liners, and after the league ended 3 years later, the uniforms were just left. And honestly, I didn't really know, didn't think much about these uniforms until years later.
So what we have here, what you brought in, were two major league jerseys, New York Yankee jerseys, featuring E. Ford, better known as Whitey, Ed Ford, number 16. Right. And over here we have Yogi Berra, whose real name was Lawrence,
That's
Larry
right.
Berra. So I'm not really sure whether that was just sort of a misstitching of an L. These are major league uniforms. There's a regular practice in the minor leagues, because remember, they weren't the multi-million-dollar organizations that they are today. They had to save money when they could. So what they would do is send the uniforms down to the minor leagues and recycle them. So I think we're going to take Whitey first. And here's Whitey Ford. Here's his uniform. This is very common for the time, stitching, and there's no reason for them to take it out. But as you said, they took the NY out of here and they put a K on it for Kearney. That makes sense. Now, when you flip this around, this was Whitey Ford's number, 16. Whitey Ford is one of the great New York Yankees. Here's a guy who won 6 world championships. He was a 10-time All-Star, and he was the greatest pitcher in baseball in 1961. He won the Cy Young Award for the entire league, and then he was the MVP in the 1961 series. He was the anchor in the 1950s and 60s. And his uniforms are very hard to find. I also look at the condition here. You've got a little bit of staining here, and it was worn and it was altered. So then we've got Yogi. Now Yogi, for many, is considered as much of a Yankee as Mickey Mantle, and he was the true anchor of the Yankees during his career. Here's a guy who won 10 world championships, a 3-time MVP, and really was the cornerstone. And think about that, winning MVP 3 times when you're on the same team as Mickey Mantle. Now the other thing we look at is that this is from 1951, and 51 was an MVP year. And we have the number 8 here. My guess is they probably didn't use this uniform because they never altered it, which was bad for the person in Kearney, but really good for you.
Yeah, all right.
The only things that I can see, you've got a little tear here, you've got some minor discoloration. But these are very rare jerseys, and they're very sought after by collectors, and they would fight over them at auction. You don't want to sell, so I'm going to give you an insurance appraisal, okay? Retail replacement, that's the top of the market. Did you do any research in terms of what these might be worth or what you think the value is? Do you have any idea?
Not at all. I've seen on the internet maybe a Yogi Berra shirt offered, and I think it was probably something like $3,000.
3,000? Okay. Well, I would write the check for that right now, let me tell you that, because we're looking at Whitey alone. A Whitey Ford 1955 jersey, a home jersey, even altered, I would put an insurance value of $30,000 on it.
Oh, my.
That's 3-0.
My.
Now, you know what Yogi would say here. It ain't over till it's over. And now we get Yogi's jersey. This is an exceptional jersey. Rarely do Berra jerseys come up at auction. There's only been a handful, and there hasn't been one that I've been able to find that's been sold at auction from an MVP year. There have been other years that have been sold, and there have been milestones, such as the one from the perfect game that Don Larson threw. But in the era of good, better, best, this is close to the top. I would place an insurance value of $100,000 on this jersey.
My. I wouldn't know. I really don't know what to say about that. That's amazing. It's amazing. I knew they were going to be somewhat valuable, but I didn't realize they were going to be that valuable, Lee. You really have shocked me, honestly.